Today I paint the mighty goddess Athena from Greek mythology to continue my series in which I turn an ancient goddess into a modern piece of art. You will see my watercolor and mixed media process, and I tell you some astonishing facts about this goddess, like that she was born by jumping out of Zeus' head fully grown and in armor, for example, which resolved his headache, by the way. I also have some very exciting news for you I want to share, so stay tuned for that. I split up the painting process into chapters for you. First, I explain my technique, and later tell you about the myth, so you can paint along if you like while listening to some fascinating history facts. So let's begin. Let me take you back in time again, about 1000 years BC into ancient Greece, to meet Athena, the goddess of warfare, philosophy, wisdom, the arts, and of course, the patron goddess of the city of Athens itself. Like many other citizens in these times, the Athenians had their own goddess that protects their city and citadel from harm and helps them prosper. Chapter 1: Olive Branches. I'm starting by painting the olive branches that are a well-known symbol of Athena. I mix alternating green tones ranging from turquoise to grass green. I like to paint leaves in one go, with only one brushstroke. Not only is this a lot of fun, but I also get beautiful watercolor patterns once the paint dries. In one of the founding myths, Athena and Poseidon, the god of the sea, competed with each other which of them would bring the city a better gift. Poseidon created a saltwater well, but Athena gave the city the first domestic olive tree. It gave the citizens wood, oil and food, and was therefore a far better gift. Hence the olive tree became a symbol of Athena. Chapter 2: Armor and Tunic. As a warrior goddess, Athena wears a tunic and a Corinthian helmet and holds a shield with the Gorgon's head in the center. Naturally, that was something I wanted to include in my artwork as well. To get some ideas, I searched the internet for statues, Greek weaponry and clothing. Whenever I create an elaborate painting inspired by mythology, I build a vast collection of pictures to help me find all the essential features that my artwork needs to convey the right atmosphere. Her golden helmet and jewelry was a perfect opportunity for me to use my metallic paints again. Whenever I can, I paint with these. To paint clothes that remind me immediately of ancient Greece, I picked a brilliant red for the tunic color and accompanied it with golden accents. The painting is much larger than my usual artworks, so I had to fill in quite a big area. So I used my larger brushes, which also create beautiful abstract marks. And to make the tunic even more interesting, I finished it off with some splashes.
Now let's get to the exciting news. I'm hosting my first live painting course starting in March. In this 4-week foundation course, you will learn how to paint a realistic portrait and give it your own artistic style by using various abstraction techniques. You will get an in-depth view into how I create a mixed media artwork that is more than just a photograph. You will learn how to recognize colors, mix skin tones, and build depth with my versatile mixed media techniques. In addition, you will get an introduction into the must-have art supplies and a course into how to create the best references for your artworks. I'm so excited for the course because I have created so many amazing things for you and I can't wait to share them with you. So follow the link in the video description and enroll in my first live painting class.
Now let's get back to the painting. Chapter 4: Painting her face. Let's continue with her beautiful face. Because I wanted the painting to have modern influences as well as ancient ones, I created a face in my signature style. I gave her full lips, dark eyes, and lush curly hair to convey her courageous, honest nature and her pureness as a virgin goddess. I started her face by mixing some basic skin tones with yellow and red ochre, burnt sienna and orange. I always simplify shapes, like the shadows around the eyes, under the nose and the lips. Later I refine them. I let each layer of the face dry before adding any new shadings or details. Next I switched over to color pencils and drew all refinements and blendings I thought the face needed. I put a special focus on adding more colors to the face than there actually were, by adding Naples yellow and turquoise on some parts of the portrait. This way, the skin looks more vivid and lively. And while I was at it, I painted the hand with the same method as well. Athena is often depicted with a spear, so I gave her a magnificent long golden lance. And of course, I adorned her tunic's border with a classic Greek key pattern. I painted the folds in a dark red tone to finish off the tunic, and I added some more detail to the golden jewelry. Chapter 3. The Owl. I started my owl with a light grey for the base tone, and I let it dry before adding a second layer for the shadows on the wings and the chest. Next, I drew in the eyes with my detail brush, and I added fine lines to indicate smaller feathers. To give the owl more depth, I painted in some white highlights with gouache. A blue shadow submerges the owl's entire left side, so I mixed a bit of blue into the gouache for the shadings. I also mixed a bit of yellow ochre to the white gouache to create this almost Naples yellow looking tone for some more details on the feathers. Many of you probably know that owls are associated with wisdom. But why is that? Athena is associated with owls. They stand for her role as the patron of wisdom and philosophy. But no one really knows how that came about. There never actually was an owl mentioned in any of the myths we know. It's theorized that the word bright-eyed and bluish-green, after having been translated over and over again, evolved into the word little owl. Eventually, people just associated the owl with Athena, and because she was the muse of philosophy and wisdom, the owl also became a symbol of that. And this is why today we associate owls with wisdom. Chapter 5. Finishing touches and the birth myth. The only thing left to finish this painting is to paint the ornaments of her golden helmet. I wanted it to look ancient and as if it has been worn in many battles, so I painted it deliberately a bit patchy. While I was at it, I also painted some more curls and hair strands. I enhanced the contrast by adding light yellow highlights with gouache and added dark shadings with black gouache paint to give the helmet even more depth. I think the most bizarre myth about Athena is a story about her birth. According to a scripture that dates back to the 7th century BC, Athena's father Zeus had a love affair with the Titaness Metis, the goddess of wisdom and cunningness. In a prophecy about Metis, it was believed that she would bear children that would be so powerful that they would eventually overthrow Zeus himself. So, after he slept with Metis, he immediately regretted the consequences, and after learning that she was pregnant even, he tricked Metis into turning into a fly, and then he swallowed her. Zeus, thinking he had resolved the problem, married 7 other wives before he finally married his current wife and also sister, the goddess Hera. But in the meantime, Metis, who was still a fly in Zeus' head, had already begun making a helmet and armor for her unborn child. All this hammering and metalworking caused Zeus an enormous headache, so he ordered one of the other gods to cleave open his head with an axe. Suddenly, Athena leaped from Zeus' head, fully grown and armed, and everyone, even the sun god, was stunned by her beautiful appearance. Zeus' wife Hera, though, was so annoyed at Zeus for having given birth to a child on his own that she conceived and bore her own child, the god Hephaestus, by herself. And if that wasn't a bizarre story, I don't know what is. And this is how the final painting looks like. What do you think? Does she represent Athena well? Let me know in the comment section. And for everyone interested in watching the full 5-hour-long painting process, you can join me on Patreon at the advanced student level reward tier. The original artwork is available in my shop. You can find all links in the video description.
I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you so much for all the wonderful suggestions you gave me in my last video. There were so many great ideas and I'm very excited to paint some of them. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and I see you in the next one. Bye bye!